Hi, my name is Kenneth Playford, and today's learning session takes a focus on the environment and Southwire's efforts to reduce its impact. But first, we're going to discuss knife safety. In an effort to align the corporate offices with the same initiatives that the production facilities strive towards, a use restriction of locking utility blades, pocket knives, knives with exposed blades, or locking bladed knives was put in place. This restriction aligns with Southwire's culture of zero in that these types of tools are not the appropriate choice for office-oriented tasks. The restriction of these tools and the implementation of safe alternatives for corporate and sales offices has been set in place with the goal of eliminating the risk and occurrence of knife-inflicted injuries. Now, Southwire is committed to creating the safest working environment possible. The restriction of non-safety knives is a step in that direction. The production environment and Southwire functions may require the use of a particular tool that are restricted for office environments. For these cases, employees are to seek the guidance from their representative safety staff or manager to determine what tool and appropriate personal protective equipment is the safest and most appropriate for that given task. For the Carrollton corporate offices, Central Supply will be able to provide you with the necessary, safe, and effective tools for the tasks in the office environment. To dispose of non-compliant knives, or if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me with those concerns. Now let's take a look at our environmental focus for today. Today we're going to cover Earth Day, the history and where it came from, the sustainability hierarchy, recycling is actually the last option, how we recycle at Southwire, some discouraged materials, recycling at home, and Southwire's efforts. Since one of Southwire's 5 pillars of sustainability is to grow grain, today we're going to cover a few environmental topics, as well as Southwire's goals to grow green. We have 3 main goals here at Southwire. The first goal is to increase energy efficiency by 10% by the year end 2020. The second goal is to increase water efficiency by 10% by year end 2020. And lastly, we want to divert all waste from a landfill to a recycling facility by the year 2017 and become landfill free. Let's talk about Earth Day and Earth Week. During the United Nations Educational, Scientific, and Cultural Organization Conference in 1969, a peace activist by the name of John McConnell proposed an idea to celebrate peace on Earth. The idea for a national day was initiated by the then Senator of Wisconsin, Gaylord Nelson. He was motivated to do something when he witnessed the catastrophe of the 1969 Santa Barbara oil spill, which ravaged the West Coast. Pulling from the energy of the already culturally and politically motivated youth of the time, Nelson worked with Pete McCloskey and Dennis Hayes to promote environmental rallies across the nation's college campuses. On April 22, 1970, 20 million people participated in various events across the nation to increase environmental awareness. It was an overwhelming success that continued every year, growing in size and achievements. In 1990, Dennis Hayes took the event worldwide to have 141 other nations participate in the growing event. The first Earth Day was such a success in stirring environmental thought that President Richard Nixon created the EPA in December of 1970. The creation of this government agency quickly passed 3 critical acts, 2 of which affect Southwire daily operations, the Clean Air Act and the Clean Water Act. To say Earth Day is just another day is an understatement. And in Carrollton, Southwire will be participating in a Sustainability Expo on the 21st of April at the AMP from 4 to 7. I hope to see you there. Let's talk about the sustainability hierarchy. Southwire's goal to divert all waste to a disposal method other than landfill is ambitious. This goal can be achieved through basic recycling, but in the grand scheme of things, recycling is the least desirable option. Now, your regular break room, restroom, and office trash is actually recycled too. Now, these materials aren't recycled in the traditional sense of the word, which means broken down into key components and reused to create another product. They're actually recycled into energy at a waste-to-energy facility. Once there, the facility combusts these disposed materials to heat water to create steam and turn a turbine to create energy. Reducing your use and ultimate need to dispose of an unneeded material is the best option. Think twice about printing that document. Is there a need for the hard copy, or will a digital one suffice? Are you grabbing a disposable cup every time you need a drink? Why not use a reusable bottle or mug and reduce the need to buy disposable? And then just throw it away? That's money in the trash. If you can't reduce, try to reuse. If you have a document that's no longer needed, can you use it as scrap paper for notes or packing material, given that it's not confidential? If you just don't like using a ceramic mug or bottle to carry your beverage, at least use your disposable container more than once or twice. Get your money's worth out of it. When you can't reduce or reuse, we recycle. And for paper, blue bins are placed throughout the offices and cubicles. These bins are provided to make it easy to recycle your paper. Clean paper, mail and envelopes, even the FedEx and UPS ones, newspaper, magazines, phone books, notepads, and spiral-bound pads can all go in these blue bins. Basically, anything that's a paper product that hasn't contacted food or has been soiled by beverage can go into these paper recycling bins. Now, Southwire believes in paper recycling so much that you can bring paper products from home to recycle here. Recycling paper when it can't be reused or reduced is critically important, as one person on average uses around 680 pounds of paper a year. Now that's 5.5 trees or 127 gallons of oil. And if we recycled most of our paper, 30% of landfill space would be free. Paper is the biggest wasted recycled material, so it's vitally important that you recycle it. Just like paper, Southwire has a waste outlet for cardboard. Most offices and facilities have a designated point to collect cardboard generated at that location. If you're unsure of where your cardboard location is, or you don't have one, work with me and we can get one set up for your area. When recycling cardboard, make sure you break it down and remove all of the non-cardboard components. Make sure these materials like packing pillows, styrofoam, and other things are disposed in the proper receptacle. Then place that flattened down box of cardboard into the recycling area. Now be mindful that cardboard may not be in the regular brown box form. It could be a paper towel roll, an unsoiled lunch container, or your empty tissue box. In the same way Southwire feels about paper disposal, cardboard is held in the same regard. If you don't have an outlet for cardboard at home, you can bring it to work. Recycling cardboard is important because it only takes 1/4 of the energy to create a box from recycled material versus that of virgin. And a box can actually be recycled up to 8 times in its lifetime. And second only to paper, cardboard is one of the greatest wasted recycled materials. Southwire also recycles plastics. There are 7 major classifications of plastic resin, or the material that makes up plastic. In the offices, we have the ability to collect and recycle 2 of these resin types. The other 5 are a little bit more difficult to recycle. Have you ever noticed the things made of plastic, like your drink bottles or plastic dinnerware? These symbols? These actually identify the type of plastic resin. Southwire gives you the ability to recycle resin types 1s and 2s in your office. Some examples of these include soda bottles, water bottles, shampoo bottles, mouthwash bottles, peanut butter jars, milk jugs, water jugs, juice jugs, detergent bottles, margarine cups, and even yogurt cups. Be sure that you check the symbol, and if you have a 1 or 2, it can be recycled through the plastic recycling bin in your office. If you have any plastic types 1s and 2s, you can use Southwire's provided waste outlets for your home plastic recycling. Recycling plastic is very important to reducing your impact, as it can take as long as 700 years for a bottle to even begin to decompose. Plastic has also become the leading contributor of ocean trash pollution and has been found to be one of the causes of invasive species migration today. Southwire also recycles batteries. Federal regulations require that Southwire manage its spent or dead batteries in a specific manner. To ensure that Southwire falls into a less stringent regulation, we manage our batteries as a universal waste. This is a regulatory way of saying recycled properly. In the various locations, there can be any number of types of batteries, but in Carrollton, there are 4 major types: alkalines, NiCads, nickel metal hydrides, and lithium ions. Now, we have to manage them in a specific way, and the way we do this is that each battery needs to be placed in its own container. That means alkalines with alkalines and NiCads with NiCads. When placing the battery in this individual container, the terminals must be isolated, and this can be done by either taping them or placing them in an individual bag. The container also needs to be labeled with this universal waste label and kept closed at all times unless adding a battery. If you need help setting up your universal waste battery collection area, give me a call and we'll get one set up. Do not throw your battery into the trash. It needs to be managed in the way we just described. Now, the reason why we have to tape the terminals is that if contacted, the batteries can actually catch fire. And UPS Flight 6 is an example of this short circuit, where lithium-ion batteries actually contacted during flight, bringing the plane down. Unlike paper, plastic, and cardboard, batteries are not to be brought from home for waste disposal here at Southwire. Southwire recycles other materials like fluorescent lamps and electronic waste. Since a major component of fluorescent lamps is mercury, the EPA requires management similar to that of batteries. The majority of your fluorescent lamps will be handled by maintenance personnel that will abide by the proper disposal methods. However, if you do need to dispose of a compact fluorescent, like the ones pictured here, contact your maintenance department and ask them where you can dispose of your spent bulb. Now, it is vitally important that you do not break the bulb, as the glass is hazardous itself, but the mercury housed inside can make you quite ill. CRT screens need to be held in the same respect. Do not break them, as there's lead inside that is hazardous to your health if broken. Electronic waste, or products and components of electronics, like televisions, microwaves, computers, and cell phones, are common examples. From lead to mercury to cadmium to arsenic, e-waste contains any number of toxic elements that must be disposed of safely and kept out of our landfills. Segregate this material out for pickup, and if you don't have a regular e-waste area, let me know and we'll work together to get one set up. There are some discouraged materials here at Southwire. Due to the nature of some of these materials, they are discouraged. Styrofoam is composed of harmful organic chemicals known as carcinogens, and they have no recycling value. This product is the major source of urban litter and is easily spread by wind and water. Try to refrain from using this product. Use a more recyclable one, like paper or plastic. Styrofoam packing peanuts are also discouraged because they're made of styrofoam. Let's talk about cans. All of Carrollton campus and supporting offices, as well as any locations that ship aluminum scrap to Kentucky, are to be aluminum can free. And this is because the smallest amount of liquid introduced into a Kentucky furnace can cause a fatal explosion. Aerosol cans are discouraged at Southwire because they're subject to regulatory disposal concerns. They must be punctured and drained of the accelerant in an approved puncturing device. In addition to the regulatory concern, the accelerant is flammable and can be harmful in enclosed atmospheres. Most products that offer an aerosol have a squirt bottle alternative. Choose the squirt bottle. Paper, cardboard, and plastic can all be brought from home to be disposed of at Southwire. These products can also be disposed of through curbside recycling services. If curbside recycling service isn't available to you or you don't subscribe, many counties offer convenience centers for consumer recycling. For other materials that aren't allowed to be brought to Southwire for recycling, like batteries, lamps, and other e-wastes, a quick way to find out a proper disposal place is to go to search.earth911.com and use that search engine. Now let's take a moment to see what Southwire has been doing and its future plans to grow green.
At Southwire, our environmental priorities are not merely one area of activity, but we integrate them into the core of our operations. As we've matured as a company, we have become more aware of our impact on the environment, and we continue to seek new ways to improve our performance. With that mindset, we've strengthened our environmental health and safety management systems to build an ISO-conformant corporate structure, and we initiated a multi-year effort to develop management systems at all of our manufacturing and distribution facilities. We're also focusing on training opportunities for our office and support teams to encourage a stronger environmental health and safety culture company-wide. In 2015, we continued to build upon our Growing Green committees for each location. In Carrollton, our volunteer-based team put together strategic plans to further support our efforts toward the environment, focusing on recycling education for corporate employees. And we continue to make significant strides toward our goal of zero landfill by 2017. In 2007, we began our effort with more than 17,000 tons of waste sent to landfills. And in 2015, we were able to reduce that total by more than 90% overall. We've also taken steps to improve our water and energy efficiency over the last several years. As of the end of 2015, we've improved water use efficiency by more than 25%, and we increased energy efficiency by nearly 8%. But we know we can do better. and we're developing new protocols to keep ourselves accountable in these areas. At our Carrollton campus, improving water quality in Buffalo Creek has been a priority for us for the last 2 years. In 2015, we invested in significant paving upgrades and also finalized our new retention pond for stormwater runoff. These projects will further reduce our environmental footprint by improving the quality of water that flows into the creek. In addition, we continue to partner with groups in our local communities to host recycling events and cleanup opportunities to further support our commitment to the environment.
If you have any questions or concerns, or you need help setting up a specific recycling area, you can reach out to me by sending me an email or simply giving me a call. I hope you have a great day, and we'll see you again.